on absent-mindedness, written by Shri Pradeep Kumar Basu, published in the year 2011. It is said that visitors to the great scientist Albert Einstein many times had an embarrassing experience. A discussion may be going on in his visitor's room when suddenly Einstein will get up and go to his study. Naturally, the visitors would think he has gone for something and will be back. But when time dragged on and he did not return, somebody would be bold enough to peep into his study. He would find the great man sitting on his desk, deeply engrossed in solving some scientific problem, completely oblivious of the guests waiting for him. Norbert Wiener, born in 1894 and died in 1964, was a famous American mathematician who was equally famous for his absent-mindedness. Once they were shifting house. His wife handled the whole thing. Knowing her husband's habit, she gave him a paper with the new address written on it. On the way to the university, some new idea came to Wiener. He searched for paper and found the piece. He did his calculations and threw the paper away. In the evening, he had no choice but to go to his old address. There he found a girl in front of his house. He asked, "Young lady, would you happen to know where the Wieners have shifted?" The girl turned out to be his daughter. She said, "Mummy anticipated you will lose the address. She left me here to escort you to the new home." This absent-mindedness is the quality of many a great mind when, concentrating on a particular idea or thought, they become oblivious of everything around them. You may recall from our own Ramayana how the dacoit Ratnakar, while continuously taking the name of Rama, had been completely enclosed by a termite mound, which ultimately led to him to be called as Valmiki when he became a realized sage. All of us display this quality sometime or the other, depending on how much interest we have in a particular subject. I give two real-life examples from people I have come to know and interact with. I have a young friend, a table expert, obviously music crazy. Whenever he would visit me, we will get engrossed in an animated discussion on music. Once it happened that I got a frantic call from his wife inquiring whether he was with us. She had been trying all his friends as 3 hours had passed since he had left home, saying he will be back in 10 minutes. He had lost track of time as he discussed his first love, that is, music. Once, this gentleman took his daughter to a restaurant for a treat. They had a nice meal. In between, he must have got engrossed in some musical thought. He paid the bill and coolly went home. Only when his wife inquired where the girl was, he said, "Oops." and furiously drove back to the restaurant. Luckily, the girl was still sitting there, nonplussed, thinking what to do. We had a scientist in our laboratory whom we collectively gave the title of absent minded professor. Once on a job, he will frequently forget everything else. He would lose all sense of time. Somebody will have to remind him that the time is up and he should be back home. One permanent problem his wife faced was from where to get an inexhaustible supply of lunch boxes. He invariably left it in the lab. Ultimately, she appealed to us, his colleagues, to ensure that he takes back his lunchbox home. If his wife someday asked him to bring half a kilo butter while coming home, it was a high probability that he would reach with half kilo butter or nothing. Giving him a list did not solve the problem because he will either misplace it or just forget about it. To end on a personal note, I still remember during my student days being engrossed in my studies in the terrific Nagpur summer, oblivious to everything else. Suddenly, my mother would wake up, reprimand me, and switch on the fan. Today, I would give anything if I could get back that ability of absent mindedness. Thank you very much. Now, some of the words and their meanings. He would find the great man sitting on his desk, deeply engrossed in solving some scientific problem, completely oblivious of the guests waiting for him. Oblivious means not aware of or concerned about what is happening around one. The girl turned out to be his daughter. She said, "Mummy anticipated you will lose the address. She left me here to escort you to the new home." Anticipate means to imagine or expect something will happen. I have a young friend, a table expert, obviously music crazy. Whenever he would visit me, we will get engrossed in an animated discussion on music. Engross means absorb all the attention. Animated means full of life or full of excitement. Once it happened that I got a frantic call from his wife. Frantic means very worried or frightened, almost out of control because of extreme emotion such as worry. One permanent problem his wife faced was from where to get an inexhaustible supply of lunch boxes. Inexhaustible means unlimited. To end on a personal note, I still remember during my student days being engrossed in my studies in the terrific Nagpur summer. Terrific means here very great. Suddenly, my mother would wake up, reprimand me, and switch on the fan. Reprimand means to express to someone your disapproval. Thank you very much.